are you today?
I'm doing great.
Good, good. We're taking the opportunity today to share with all the members of FLETC a little bit about our senior leadership. And so we have an opportunity today to have them get to know you a little bit better.
Okay.
So for those of us who don't know you that well, how long have you worked for the government?
I've worked for the government for 33 years,
Okay.
and I've been at the Federal Law Enforcement Training Center for approximately 15, 16 years.
All right, and currently your title and your job position is?
I'm the Assistant Director for Mission and Readiness Support Directorate.
What type of things fall under your directorate?
We're basically a directorate that's positioned to provide support to the training mission. So all the support functions to include assets and logistics management, procurement, facilities management, student services, which basically provides all of our contracted services for our students. We've also got security and emergency management and other divisions along that line of providing support.
And you also provide support to other entities aside from FLETC.
We do. We actually have a memorandum of agreement with the Directorate of Science and Technology, specifically with the National Laboratories entity there. And so we provide construction and design procurement services to science and technology in support of their projects related to national laboratories.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
A little outside of the FLETC mission statement, but how did we get to do those kind of things, or how did that happen?
Well, Science and Technology Directorate had a need. They were in the process of doing their master planning for national laboratories, and they had a couple of laboratories that they needed to do a renovation of, and they had one in particular that they were actually constructing to take on the activities that are occurring at Plum Island. They were basically going to take those, actually build a new laboratory in Manhattan, Kansas, that basically is responsible for screening animals to ensure that we don't have any threats to our homeland based on diseases and that sort of thing that may be associated with these larger animals. So we have a unit of contracting professionals in Manhattan, Kansas, on the ground at that particular site that are working with our partners in S&T to construct that $1.1 billion laboratory.
Wow,
and
1.1 billion.
1.1 billion, and we're also doing work for TSA as it relates to renovating their transportation security laboratory. That's about an $80 million renovation initiative, and we've done a couple of other projects for S&T, to include doing some renovations at Plum Island to their wastewater treatment facility.
So let me ask you this: when you come in the morning, when you come to FLETC, and you know our mission,
Yes.
How does that motivate you when you come through the gates in the morning?
Well, I'm motivated when I come through the gates because I know that we have a sacred responsibility. Our mission is to train those that protect the homeland. And so that in itself inspires me to try to be excellent every day in terms of helping our organization do what we need to do to provide law enforcement students with the capabilities to go out and protect and defend our homeland. I take it personal. I come from a family of servants, particularly in the military, but I believe that the American people are depending on us and others to be excellent in our jobs every day, because at the end of the day, we have an opportunity to ensure that the students that we train leave here and they're excellent every day. So it's a partnership and it's a responsibility that I take very seriously.
And the partners that we work with so closely, do you provide services to them as well?
We do. We provide the full range of support services to them, everything from lodging to dining, all sorts of services as it relate to the partners, their office space, any needs that they may have that they can't accomplish through their own organizations, contracting support. those sorts of things. So we have great relationships with our partner organizations, and as you know, FLETC doesn't train its own students. We provide a service to our partner organizations, which is to train their students. So we consistently get around to ensure that we understand acutely what our partners' needs are, so that we're in a better position to support their needs.
Okay. And last question.
Okay.
Innovation. Innovation, I know it is important to you personally, but tell me about innovation and how you challenge your members of Mission Support Readiness Directorate to use innovation to help them, explore different new ways of doing things.
Well, we do that first through our recruiting process, because we really embrace trying to get the best and brightest to be a part of our organization. We want to be the employer of choice, which you outlined to your executives many years ago. So we really put a focus on being the employer of choice and recruiting the best and the brightest. And when they're here, while they may have responsibility for their own programs, what we try to do is not just have their leadership run longitudinally, but also latitudinally. We basically have a matrix organization in which we engage all of our staff through our strategic planning process and execution of that plan to really inspire innovation. No matter where you sit within the Mission and Readiness Support Directorate, everyone knows the reason that we're here, and we truly believe that we're here to enable the training mission. And by doing what we do, we are the catalyst that makes the training engine run. So we basically go out, ensure that we have relationships with those that we're charged to support, to get an understanding of what their requirements are. Some of the greatest innovation that we've been able to employ in the Mission and Readiness Support Directorate has occurred in our garage. We have mechanics that not just change the oil and change the tires, but they innovate. When trainers need certain platforms to conduct their training activities, our mechanics, based on their knowledge, are able to alter these vehicles to provide platforms to do things that typically a vehicle that you would buy off the showroom floor couldn't do. For example, we have a vehicle that has a device on it that basically an instructor can, from the use of remote control, take out the steering of that vehicle. So that was an innovation that occurred in our garage, and we've got tons of examples like that across the directorate in terms of our staff really stretching and creating and being innovative, and we've been recognized not only by the department, but we've been recognized by the federal government at large for our innovations in fleet management, innovations in procurement in terms of utilizing certain procurement strategies like design build, but not only in those units, but just across our directorate, we've been able to really inspire people to stretch and be a part and invest of themselves and their talent in carrying out this mission.
Okay, I said I was going to ask you, that was the last question, but I got one more. I know one of the exciting projects that we're proud of is the recycling program.
Yes.
And I know that as a result of innovation in that program, that we're actually able to sell some of our byproducts, some of our waste, some of the things that cardboard and the plastic that keep the bullets intact when
Yes.
we get those for our firearms division. Tell us a little bit about that and what kind of a moneymaker that is.
Well, our recycling program, to be very candid, was the brainchild of a few innovators on our staff. There wasn't a mandate for us to really go out and exploit recycling, but we had some staff members that had a keen interest in recycling. And while we've been doing recycling in various at various sites, recycling various products, we had not approached recycling from a holistic perspective. And so these individuals collaborated and decided that they wanted to really target, if you will, the firearms ranges, and because we were not at Glencoe recycling the cardboard targetry. So we started there, and from there we'd always recycled our brass, the brass from the bullets, and generated funds based on those sales. But we found ourselves into recycling tires, recycling the plastic cartridges, recycling toner cartridges, and then it just continued to grow and grow and grow to the point where we invested based on the return that we were getting from our sales in staffing that function, utilizing recycling funds. That program has to be a self-sustaining program, and so we don't, whatever profit we make from that program, we have to put back into sustainability initiatives. So last year we had a monumental year in terms of our revenue generated from that particular unit. And quite interestingly enough, that establishment of that organization really inspired people across the enterprise, because there were a lot of people that recycled at home and would ask questions, well, what are we doing with these plastic bottles, and what are we doing with this? And now we have force multipliers as it relates to recycling. And the great thing about it is that we've diverted so much from the landfills that we would be depositing in those landfills. We're saving ourselves money as it relate to even how we basically handle hazardous waste now, because there are elements of that hazardous waste that are recyclable. So we were investing thousands and thousands of dollars a year in terms of doing away with those waste products. Now we're able to take certain elements of them and recycle them, just like the dust that comes from the frangible, the bullets. We've been able to recycle that dust and actually generate revenue from it.
Wow. Well, y'all have done a fabulous job, and no telling what comes next, because they keep discovering new ways to apply that whole notion of recycling things that previously we threw away. And so it's interesting to see where this is going to go. Yeah. But we'll continue to watch and monitor their success. So I want to thank you on behalf of all of us for everything that you do every day, and for what your directorate does, and thank you for your service.
And Director, I want to thank you too, because without your support, we wouldn't be able to do the things that we do. So we work in an environment that really inspires us to be the best that we can be on a daily basis. So I want to thank you.
Thank you.
All right.